Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, girls. This is Farzana Hassan with the next lecture of English literature. I hope that you must be fine, and it's this weekend you are going to have Eid al-Azha. So Eid Mubarak, and you must be very happy with your bakras for this Eid. But again, I would like to advise you that please be careful, as the corona is still a fact, and people are still suffering from this crisis. So please stay at home, be careful enough, as we have to have a strong, healthy society, and we have to get back to our workplaces and educational institutions, because this is actually our life and our lifestyle, especially for the teachers and the students. So I pray that this hazard leaves us and we are enabled to come to our institutions again and have our normal life over there. So our next poem that I have to take up is Everyone Sang. It's a poem by the poet Siegfried Sassoon. And first I'll give the explanation of the poem, then we will have comments on it. Everyone sang. Everyone suddenly burst out singing, and I was filled with such delight, as prison birds must find in freedom, winging wildly across the wide orchards and dark green fields, on and out of sight. This poem is actually written in the background of the end of First World War, and the poem is the celebration of the end of First World War a year after, in 1919. The poem is divided into 2 stanzas. Every stanza has got 5 lines, and seems as if the poet is surrounded by a crowd of people, and suddenly something happens over there which spreads delight, joy and happiness all around the poet. Suddenly, with the fact that with the realization of the fact that the war has come to an end, the crowd of people, they start singing. And the way they sing shows that they are really happy, and they are especially happy that the war has come to an end, because the horrors of war make our life terrible, and war can give only misery to this world. So when the human being feels that they are free of the horrors of war, they feel just like the birds who were kept in prison or cages for some time, and then their cages were opened and they were given freedom. So these people who are standing and suddenly start singing because of the realization that the war has come to an end, they appear just like the birds who have got their freedom, and they start flying. They start flying across the open place. They go over the orchards where the fruit trees have got white bloom on them, and they they fly over the green fields, which are really dark green in color, and they fly over these green fields, and soon they are they are flying so freely that they are soon out of sight. They are actually given, after living a caged life, a life of misery and horrors, suddenly when this happiness comes to them, they are happy and free, and they go on in their happiness. So such is the condition of the people who have started singing, that they can be identified with the birds who had been kept in cages, or who were kept in in jail kind of a place, and when they get their freedom, they are happy enough to go out of it. Now the second stanza: everyone's voice was suddenly lifted, and beauty came like the setting sun. My heart was shaken with tears and horror, drifted away, oh, but everyone was a bird, and the song was wordless. The singing will never be done. So everyone's voice was it became loud, because first some people started singing, then others joined, then the poet also started, he also joined this crowd of singing people. So with every next voice joining into this song, the song's volume went higher and higher. And obviously a song which has got harmony in it, which has got delight in it, which shows the happiness, it brings beauty, just like the beauty of the sun. And the heart of the poet is he is actually gone through the horrors of war, the fears of war. So first he is shaken with tears. So the first response after this achievement of joy is that he starts crying. And then the moment he starts crying, it seems as if the terrors of war are leaving him and all the humanity. And everyone in this crowd becomes a bird and starts singing. And here the poetry or the words of the song don't really matter at all, because they are sung in the mood of joy. So joy is actually the theme of this song, which is being sung by the poet and all the people who are around. So, and the poet is happy at this fact that it seems as if this peace which has been acquired by the human beings after such a heavy time of the First World War, it seems that it will live on this earth forever. It seems as if the humanity has learned a lesson that war is never it's never a boon, it's always a misery, it's a hell to live in this world when the world is going through war, battles, fights. So the human beings seem to have learned a lesson, and the war will never happen on this world. So this song of happiness, this song of peace, this song of the celebration of the end of war will go on forever. These last words actually stand as also the prayer by the poet. He is hoping for a better future, and also he is praying that war never happens on the earth again, and the human beings live in peace. So here what we find that in the second stanza, voice lifted and then sun setting, they seem to be these words, lifted is like going up, and sun setting, sun decline, going down. It seems to be a complicated image, and the poet, this complicated image, the way the poet has expressed it, made the poem all the more beautiful, because the poet is painting the entire crowd and he himself in such great excitement and ecstasy that he is unable to find straight words to express that happiness. So in this way, the beauty that is created by the image of voice lifted and the sun setting is the expression of the ecstasy of the poet, which has come upon him and the entire crowd. The rhyming is practiced here, like we find the words like singing and winging in the first stanza, and then in the start and the end of the poem is again connected beautifully by this rhyming. Like it starts with everyone and it ends on never be done. So never be done goes with everyone. Then we have also an example of alliteration, which is there in the fourth line of first stanza, where we find the repetition of the letter W, like it comes in winging, wildly, white. So with this we come to an end and of the poem Everyone sang, and now we have to talk about its themes. Obviously, the first and the most important thing is that war is an evil, and then peace is the ultimate beauty of the world. We must fix this thing in mind, that if we want to see the world beautiful, then the only thing that makes it beautiful is peace. Then also it stands for the unity of human being for a positive purpose. Like when human beings stand together for something good, the happiness is the destiny of this acquired unity. Ecstasy cannot be described in words. This is again a message that is given to us by the poet, and very beautifully he builds up an environment of ecstasy in which not only he goes, but also he is joined by the crowd of people who are happy at the end of the war. And there is another theme here, that music is the harmony of the soul. It gives harmony to the crowd of individual soul, the people who are so individual, but when they sing in a crowd and they sing together, they acquire a harmony which shows them so beautiful, which shows that music is the harmony of the soul. As far as the questions about this poem are concerned, again synonyms should be done, themes should be prepared, critical appreciation, we must have a brief introduction of the poet, and then then some of the brief questions, like in what background the poet has conceived the idea of the poem. Then next is, what is the response of the prisoners, birds when they are set free, and lastly, what was the influence of the song. So the poem is done along with its explanation, themes, and questions. Please do comment on our WhatsApp group if you find any problem. Inshallah, it will be solved. And thank you so much for attending this lecture of mine. Inshallah, meet you in the next lecture with the next poem, that is the Seal Boy. Allah Hafiz.